Hello, I am FerrousPilot, and we're going to be playing some more Pillars of Eternity. I'm having a hell of a time with this game, playing the hell out of it, so we're going to kill this ghoul. Well, this water looks kind of noxious, actually. So try and stay out of it, guys, if you can. Probably a good idea. All right, let's just sort of team up on him, and I don't think he's going to be able to do very much to us. No, he did not. All right. Nicely done. Yeah, wind up that arbalest. Let's just avoid the water as much as we can. Oh no, this guy has seen our friend here. That's fine. It's fine, it's fine.
All right.
Adair is gonna...
Yes?
This is bad.
Yeah.
Adair, get here. Okay, good. Alright, alright. Okay, I was just making sure that I knew where Durance was. Okay, good. This is fine. I'm gonna come in and use a barbaric blow from the side here. Everybody else is going to not do that.
Yes.
You two are going to attack. And Durant, Kevin Durant, just buff us all up. That was real quick. You know, revenants in Dragon Age Origins were actually really terrifying enemies. I guess here they're not. Oh, I think this is the sewer entrance that we were supposed to take if we were like sneaking in through the sewers. Maybe? That's my thinking anyways, but... Oh well, we're gonna explore it anyways because explore every side quest, etc., etc.
Fire.
The hell is this? Black ooze. All right. Well,
Light in dark places.
let's just come on in. Handle this black ooze. I think we're good actually. We have a good setup to kill it. Yeah. Yeah. We have a pretty good setup to kill it. Honestly. That was pretty easy. Let's go back into stealth mode and see what's down here in this hallway. Maybe there's not a lot, but I don't think there's... there's actually something here. Alright, well, we'll explore it. Might as well.
What's this?
It's a trap.
I'm here.
Nicely done.
No
It's really
problem.
nice having somebody with a mechanics skill. Apparently... You don't get any companions that have a decent mechanics skill in this game, so I'm glad my main character has it, because it allows us to avoid getting destroyed by these traps.
I'm here.
So open it up. Thank you very much. And immediately skeletons. Let's sneak. No, they saw us. All right. Well,
Hey.
that's fine. Attack! Attack! Kevin Durant.
I'm here.
Okay, everybody just sort of lay into them.
What?
Except Kevin Durant, you need to come in, and you got to use a little bit of this thing here, and basically annihilate them for us. Everybody else just team up on this revenant. It shouldn't be very long until we can destroy them. The skeletons are the most annoying because they have good damage resistance against piercing and slashing, which is most of our damage, right? So, but these revenants are, in addition to being not so powerful, are also very slow, so we should probably just be able to kill them. Yeah. Very easy. We can lockpick this stuff open, see if there's anything in there. I don't know, there might be. Like, why would they have something that allows us to lockpick if there's nothing there? Doesn't make any sense to me, but I am grateful for the experience nonetheless. Nothing in here. Let's check this out. Not much else. There's blood and stuff. We can open up this lock, and there's actually a person in there. What's up, Gyako? This young man's face is badly bruised, and his gaunt form is covered in threadbare shirt. He watches you, shivering, with a measure of hope in his eyes. I don't know who you are, but will you help me? Our noble lord at work. He gazes nervously past you at the open cell. I don't think I can find my way out. I take it you ended up here after assaulting the keep with Kolsk and his men? Yes, it seemed like a good plan. We got in without incident and I knew the way, but we were surprised in the dungeons, and most of us, you'll have seen some of them, fought them. Their bodies at least, not their minds anymore, but their souls. The woman down here, Raedric's animancer, her name is Osria. I heard her speaking sometimes, talking about a cure. Lord Raedric calls her often. But she's not curing anyone. She's only turned men and women into monsters. He shudders. I watched her take the others, and I was sure I'd be next. Aloth shakes his head. Men and women turn to this evil to cure Hollowborn? Madness. Tell me about Osria. There's something not right about her, a bad feeling, I mean. I knew the moment she arrived, things would take a turn for the worst. There's nothing good comes with dealing with animancers, unnatural to a lot of them. She's the one who transformed them, changed my friends into monsters. She said she was doing it for the good of Gilded Vale, more like the good of her coin purse and her sick curiosity. She's dangerous, and who knows what else she's got in her laboratory. I wouldn't go in there. She has a convincing manner, spells, no doubt. This place is still dangerous. Wait here for now. Of course, I'll stay here until you give the word. Alright, so we can help this guy exit, and I think that's probably going to allow us to get a little bit of additional experience point. Come on, guys. Get into formation. None of this amateur hour nonsense. An Amua skill. Well, that was very easy to kill, actually. How do we deal?
Time for some rest.
How do we deal 42 piercing damage and 22 piercing damage on a freaking skeleton? Skeletons are supposed to be like immune to piercing or something, or at least very resistant to it. What is this? That's a revenant.
Nice.
If I've ever seen one. Seems like going inside is probably going to result in a lot of enemies attacking us, but at the same time, I can't really bother to care. Yep. Do the attack. Good job. Come up here and do a circle of murking people in the face hole. Do this, and we'll have
Yes?
Moon Man here. Come on. Eye Strike. No. You're going to use Mental Binding. This spell is like amazing. Alright, do it. Nicely done. Alright, we're doing pretty well this time around. You know, I like to think we're doing well anyways. This ghoul just got flanked, so he's in a bad spot. Yeah. Doing pretty well. I really like Mental Binding on Dingle Bingle. It's doing a good job here. And, you know, Sharknado is just really powerful anyways, and it's just, we're doing very well. I think Kevin Durant is really just MVP for us because his ability to deal that much damage to undead is amazing. It's so good. I probably should have checked if that was trapped first. My mistake. I'm getting a little bit overconfident here. And it's a bad thing. It was saved a little bit here. And there are enemies in there for sure. Yeah, that is a revenant for sure. You know what? I don't know. Yeah, let's go in. That's Austria, okay. You need to move back, actually. We need to move all of our spellcasters back. Let's talk to her. A woman caught mid-step across the room turns her head to face you. Long curls of black hair frame her face, one side of which is flecked with some green liquid. The gaze she sets upon you holds an eerie intensity. More interruptions. The woman sets down the book she holds, smiling faintly. What an interesting time we've been having of late, so many uninvited guests. I suppose I have to thank you for all the damage to my work. It took time to get those people back on their feet, you know. What is it you're doing here? Lord Raedric sent me to check on your progress. Osria regards you coldly for a moment. At last she throws her arms up in the air in frustration. Of course he did. I thought I'd have a few days at least, but before he resumed his growling. If Lord Raedric wishes to see swifter progress, then perhaps he might deign to provide the materials I need. Does he think he's the only one growing impatient? I am gifted with this pitiful little laboratory, and he expects miracles. And while that old wretch, that useless priest, has the whole upper keep to himself, what does he provide? Superstition and useless advice. She lets out an angry gust of air. Very well then, look up on my progress. I have made what use of Kolsk's filthy cohorts I was able. Tell Raedric that I will have more useful information available for him once I have been given adequate time for study. If you're lucky, he won't hang you in my place. So these ghouls are not aggressive anymore, I guess?
Of course.
I don't know what the point of doing that was. I mean, we should probably have just killed her. But, okay. Well, let's explore the rest of the level, at the very least. Might as well do that, right?
See and not be seen.
Let's see what we found.
Oh, it's a trap. Let's disarm it.
Let's see what we found.
What part of disarm the trap do you not understand? Like, these guys need to stop moving when they see a trap?
Eh?
Okay, good job. Dingle Bingle is really paying off here for us. This ability to disarm
Sure.
traps is really key in this area. And this Osria person just... Apparently she doesn't care how many traps we have. We might as well rest because we have 4 camping supplies. So let's rest. Ooh, nice and sleepy. You awake to the sensation of being shaken, and you open your eyes to see Adair standing over you, his hand jostling your shoulder. He looks concerned. Your eyes are heavy and your vision blurred. The vague unease of remembering unremembered nightmares clouding your thoughts. You're not sure you slept at all the previous night.
Hey! You awake? Good. You were kind of thrashing around, eyes rolled back in your head. You were shaking. Trying to snap you out of it for a long time now. Thought I was gonna have to get a bucket of cold water. You don't seem like you get much rest at night. You got those dark circles under your eyes.
Not lately. At night there are dreams and
It's
whispers.
the Watcher thing, then. I'm sure it just takes some time to adjust is all. I'll try to let it sort itself out. But you'd better wake up faster next time. Trust me, you don't want that bucket of cold water.
You know what? We should probably talk with our companions at some point. I thought I felt your eyes on me. Now come the words. I had questions I wanted to ask
If
you.
doubts and curiosity plague you, you're skinning your knuckles on the wrong door.
Why were we supposed to meet? If the why of it is you're a watcher, a watcher runs 2 roads of why. For me, it's more a matter of what. There was a time when I wouldn't have spared a thought for your words, or even bothered with you, but now seeking out a watcher is what I do, to put truth to them, to see which of the 2 ways they bend. And what 2 ways are those? Either you're a dry field in need of harvest burning, or you're lost in the darkness. Either way, you can see differently from others. I can tell by the way you notice the staff, first off. Not many can see it at first, nor the etchings or the flames, but your eyes. Your eyes trace the path, that I could see. So which are you, a dry field or lost in darkness? The day we don't trade that question back and forth is the day our paths no longer need to be joined in the trial. The trial is done. So you're putting on me on trial then? You know this nation is diseased, don't need to be a watcher to see it in the children, the politics, the men that stalk the roads with knives in hands and murder their eyes. This land needs life again, and new seeds planted in the burned soil. And something tells me you can see the path of making that future happen, Watcher. Your kind always does. So then, what need to make sure you see truly now? We need to make sure you see truly now. This nation, its people, don't need any more lies blinding them, nor do I. You test a truth. You don't blindly accept it. And how do you plan to test me? Sharing the road, of course, one truth to match another, matching each other's pace, keeping rhythm. Other priests can see their teachings and rantings. For my faith, my teaching, sharing the road is a simple, hard truth. His smile widens and his hands tap against his waist once, then twice. And when you knock one truth against the leg of another, why, both legs stand firm. But now, if you strike a lie at the knee with the same force, why, you make a cripple with but one leg to stand on. Is that why you carry that staff? Is that why Durance is about to launch into another volley of words, blinks, and then he rolls his head back and laughs deeply, laughter coming until it seems the air will run out of his lungs, until it seems forced. Perhaps your words are worth listening to, Watcher. He frowns, any trace of humor gone. But the truth will win out. Keep pace and we'll see. Let me ask you about something
The cost
else.
of troubling me seems to worry you little.
Yeah, I mean, you're traveling with me, so you might as well. Tell me about Magrin. Oh, you know her, you must. She's a many-headed bitch. Wow, you're calling your own god a bitch, man? It's kind of like a jerkintosh type of thing to do. What is your view on
She's a
Magrin?
goddess, as fickle as they come, and with all the failings you'd expect of an empress and a whore. Too many eyes, too many wants, too much to hold on to. That's the failing of a god. More aspects than words to describe her, like most of them. A god with many nations to oversee, only serves to spread herself too thin.
Although flame rarely crosses twice, so perhaps that is the only truth she embraces. Who knows? Gods get greedy. When it comes to fire, fire is God's hunger. What are her aspects? Durance begins to count his fingers and chanting it off. War transforms Fire consumes, trials purify. Warfare, fire consuming, purification, and most of all, transforming. Trials as well, but all things are put to the test anyway. A trial can consume, purify, transform. They're all linked, although at its heart is the flame, and the flame is what matters. It is the source of all things. Guess they should have started with that, huh? Any fool around a campfire knows that. Without flames, fire would have made little progress in the dark. To hear some of the inner fires tell it around the hearth and the bellows, even in the halls of Ashfall, you'd think that fire brought life to man and that fire was Magrin. Some of the older texts say she rubbed her hands together and they burst into flame, or another god shafted her like a poker. There are different perspectives on her then. Mine is only one side among many, but here's one. I can speak to how the losing side sees her, and that should tell you enough. Let me speak to what an Aediran sees. And what does an Aediran see? The Aedirans have a proper, polite translation for her. Excellence in war, tactical discipline. That's why they lost the fucking colony, of course. They were properly still quoting that when we had them bent across the decks. All their guns, their cannons are fine, but useless when your staff is cracking light into their skulls, dispensing red gifts left and right. Durrance's fists tighten, and he laughs. Aedirans call that elevation, divine awareness. These words are as welcome as shit on one's boots, and that's all they took back with them while they were running. He shakes his head. A lesson learned at the wrong time. Almost feel a pang of sympathy for them. Almost. Lesson, what do you mean? The title of a god isn't knowing a god, adhering to words rather than walking the path, testing yourself in the heat of it. Walk until the words are stripped away and you feel it burning in your heart. That is the lesson. That Aediran politeness, that pretty adherence to the word of scripture as they saw it, that burned their ships, scarred them, kept them running throughout the Durwood campaign. Divine awareness. There's no true faith waiting to be tested. The best in battle have already shit themselves plenty. Shit themselves until they're dry and can focus on the killing. Enough, Magrin. I have other questions.
I suspect the answers will seed more questions.
You know what? Let's just keep on. Let's learn more about you. That staff of yours, can you tell me about it? Durrance glances at his staff, then at you, and gives a crooked smile. Can't take your eyes from it. Durrance himself favored such knotted twists of heart. It was said, no shame in it. What? Durrance himself favored such knotted twists of heat. It was said, no shame in it. How is it only watchers can see the symbols? They are energies of the spirit to channel for one's faith. It's hard to say. There was a time when they glowed brighter, but now they are an aid in my work. Because the staff's markings stand out to a watcher, well, they sometimes identify themselves, and sometimes they're blinded to the staff as well. A gift of Magrin, perhaps, to cloak itself from the sight when one isn't looking for it. So, that large mark there, the 12 circles, what is it?
That symbol? The Godhammer.
What was the Godhammer?
It was a weapon of Deerwood's people. A symbol of their independence. It saved the Deerwood.
Man, I really wish there was some way to be like, listen to all of the actual voice-acted dialogues. Because those ones seem to be more important. But what do you know about it?
It brought the Saints' War to an end. Knocked a god from his perch. There are few that would deny Eothas overstepped. The Godhammer reminded Eothas of it. You saw its light because I helped shape it, give it life, and release it into the world. Once seen, its glory is almost too bright to be believed. And too
You helped build the Godhammer?
There were 12 of us. We fashioned the weapon, drafted plans for it, prayed for guidance at Ashfall, and it came to me there. Each of us were given a staff made from the forest of black trees around us, glowing with embers and fire far greater than this branch you see now. It felt as if the staff was Margaren's own finger, guiding my hand, guiding the other 11, the shadows of the 12 who had come to stand on the bridge to stop Eothas.
I also saw a dozen bright circles emerging from your staff as well.
Even in that stand, there was a ritual to it. For the 12 that stood on the bridge, there were a dozen shadows cast, a dozen faithful of Margren, her fiercest supporters and shapers of the Godhammer.
Durance rests the staff in front of him, and the flame atop it curls for a moment. The light flaring slightly, it splits into a ring of flames, one after the other, until a dozen is met.
As 12 held Aethys fast, we 12 unleashed our prayers and let the Godhammer fall.
Then it blossoms brightly once and resumes its candle intensity. In the aftermath, the shadows seem sharper in the vicinity, as if they have edges, and you blink to clear your vision. Durance is still staring at the tiny candle-like flame intently.
Shadows cast by the fire of the Godhammer, perhaps. And we shared their fate as well in time. Now the spine of the Deerwood is marked by the Godhammer, marked by Magrin.
What do you mean, share their fates?
Not all deaths come with stilled breath and stilled heart, or other stilled passions beneath the waste. Some deaths come from silence. The connection we once shared with Magrin, after the light of the Godhammer, it was not the same. It was as if we'd lost our senses, and sense of purpose as well. Instead of victory being welcomed, there was silence, within and without. Not many can claim to have killed a god. It is less a heroic tale than you would think. And such a death, it changed our faith. All faiths, I expect. Doubt followed, and the world changed. I do not believe Magrin was pleased by what we had done.
This guy killed a goddamn god. Holy shit.
The world is broken. The wheel stilled. There is sickness in the world's heart. Perhaps the price of crossing a god. Crossing two gods. Even as Magrin shaped our hands, perhaps we carried her will farther than was allowed. Just as Widewind did. Saint Widewind. Mortal arrogance to match mortal arrogance. Yet if the world had changed, then I sought to change with it. If I had forgotten some of Magrin's teachings, I would find them again. I would make her see me again.
So I'm getting the feeling that this Waidwin guy was pretending to be God Eothas when he wasn't. And then these guys went and killed him. Or they killed actual Eothas? I don't know what exactly happened, but we're starting to learn a little bit about the backstory and why the world of Pillars of Eternity is so fucked up. So what did you do, Durant?
I remembered Magrin's teachings. How reminders on the flesh were more important than the death of a vessel. And I wondered if killing Aethys, if that had simply set him free. Had it allowed him to escape his punishment and be taken on the wheel? Like a mortal? As I stepped from the now blessed Godhammer Bridge, I thought of Ashfall. I thought of the War of Black Trees, wondered if I needed to be burned to find myself again. That is Magrin at her heart. At least that is my hope. These are the doubts that befall me.
Wow, man, this guy's got some heavy-ass doubts. What happened when you returned to Ashfall?
The road to Ashfall is long. Gives one time to think. And if you think long enough, you do not go home. I left without telling anyone, with only the robes I wore at Halgot, my staff, and my name, which is long buried. Of my fellow 11 craftsmen, disciples, I know not what happened to them, if they suffered the same doubt as I did. But it was underserved. It was wrong. We had done all that, or had asked. Grab victory from defeat and...
Do you feel as if you betrayed your god? You feel as if your god has betrayed you?
There is something about being used and cast aside. Perhaps Widewen himself felt it. There at the end, when the hammer struck. To be the proof that your god is hollow as the vessel it inhabits. I tried to find purpose, and avoided all contact with other Magranic priests, did not seek the walls of Ashfall, and sought to make amends to my god through actions. I joined with the Purges for a time, and not long after came the first signs of the Hollowborn. So many crimes, trespasses, violations. The Salvation. Animancers were another sickness born of the Saints' War. A relapse of innovation, of desperation to heal what we had caused. All seemed worse than before the bridge, not better. And as years passed, the world became even worse still for the victory.
It would seem Magran's silence is your trial. Sweat collects in the sooty carcass of his creases of his forehead and runs down his ruddy cheeks. It drips from the tip of his nose. His mouth moves, but his utterances make no sound. He is for once at a loss. Feeling your gaze, he quickly composes himself, wiping his forehead with the back of a dirty hand.
Worship the whims of some fickle bitch, and you'll never be more than dirt beneath her feet. Worship what she worships, on the other hand. Take her fire for your own, and her esteem comes on its own. Of course, by that time you no longer need it. Trial and transformation, sure as Durance taught.
I thought you're Durance. Durance glares at you, and staring into his eyes gives you the feeling of peering over the edge of a great cliff.
You think to put the coals to my feet, but what's burned once will never burn again. These talks are your trial, Watcher. You cannot deflect the truth to one who has already been purified by it.
Tell me what happened on the bridge. We chose the bridge because we could control it. It was a place where we could choke Eothas in his own footsteps, where we knew his feet would fall, a narrow neck of stone. But it was more than that. It was the spine of Durwood, a symbolic of its backbone. Such symbols are important in the construction of a weapon. Any weapon. Durance's face hardens and his eyebrows burn, his eyebrows narrowing. I suspect Eothas knew that as well, and so did his vessel and its arrogance. His hand tightens on his staff. He intended to walk upon the bridge, as if walking back on the backs of the Durwood, and we intended to burn him in the light of our fate and his. 12 on the bridge, 12 in the shadow, and gave ourselves to it. Gave yourselves to
We
it.
put much of ourselves into the Godhammer. Such a device is not simply a machine. There are elements of the spirit in it. Even Widewind's spirit.
Elements of the spirit?
Each of the 12 who brought the Godhammer forth would have done anything to save the Deerwood, save its people. It is why we were chosen. Each of us hated this pretender. That rage, that spirit, that rebellion went into our work, and went into studying him as well.
Waidwin,
We
why?
all studied Widewin. He was our enemy, and he had provided the flesh the god wore as a cloak. That flesh made him vulnerable. I knew what fields his hands had tilled, his family, what he had harvested, where he had been born. We sought to know him, what had led him to fight us.
Why was that
You
important?
don't kill the god. You kill the man it inhabits. And you leave that man a ruin. Burn him to ash. The weapon was meant to not only burn his flesh, but it would burn his soul. And it did. At the cost of our own. And at the cost of our goddess's favor. That whore be damned.
It sounds as if you fell victim to your own weapon.
Perhaps your eyes were blinded by the truth of the Godhammer, Watcher. I feel half a man at times, but even that is twice that of most others. If you fear for my spirit, your fears are baseless. The Godhammer, seeing its light, only fueled my anger and made me stronger, made me re-examine the teachings of Margren, put them in a new light.
Looked as if there was only one part of you, as if your spirit had been shared in half.
I do not need you to cast any more questions on me, Watcher. Nor did I ask you to look upon me without my leave. Get gone, and leave me be.
All right.
Eh?
So that was an interesting bit of dialogue there. We would have missed it if we didn't just talk to him, right? So I suppose it's a good idea every now and then to talk to your companions in this game. Let's lockpick this. The episode's almost over, but we got a few minutes, you know. We can at least lockpick some stuff, explore maybe a little bit, see what's around here. Hey, another thing to check out. Just some silver louches. Can't be too mad about that. Check what's in here. It seems like there might be enemies, actually. But, oh wait, no, we've already been here. Okay. Yeah, we've already been here. Well, what was up there? We should probably check that out. But maybe, you know what? Maybe we'll do that next episode, and we'll stop this one right now after that heavy speech with Durance and killing gods and stuff. That was some heavy stuff. So, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.